realizing that rather than yielding my time previously, I probably should have banked it for now, but I will still try to be brief. Thank you very much for having me back for panel 2. I feel a little bit like a comedian at a rock concert, and that I'm here to warm you all up for the real talent that's to follow. But very briefly, let me talk a little bit about the work that we're doing at the University of Minnesota and how I think it's relevant to what we're going to talk about today. I work with something we call the Election Academy at the University of Minnesota's Humphrey School of Public Affairs, and the mission of that group is to identify, recruit, and train the next generation of election administrators across the country. And in that service, we have created a new certificate in election administration, a graduate level degree or credential that is recognized by the Regents of the University of Minnesota that allows people in the field of elections, current graduate students, or really anybody from another field interested in elections to become a part of the field of election administration. We've got online courses in the law, in various topics in elections, and the like. The goal is to give the next generation of election officials the tools they need to do the work they do on behalf of our voters across the country. And I think one of the key tools that we are just now discovering in the field is how to use data, how to use the information you have at hand to prepare for Election Day. And the reason why that's important is that, one, Election Day is a challenge. It cannot, as Commissioner Masterson has noted, you don't get more time. Election Day is going to happen on the date it's supposed to. No extensions, no opportunities for extra time. And so being ready for voters on that day is crucial. But the other thing that's important to remember is that the way we conduct elections in this country has changed in recent years in ways that I think the field is still trying to catch up to. In the old days, we cast our ballots at what I like to call Norman Rockwell precincts. They were neighborhood precincts, a school, a church, a community center, where your neighbors staffed the tables and you and your neighbors went to a geographically convenient polling place to cast your ballots on a single day. We now know, like a lot of the nostalgia that Rockwell paintings evoke, that that's an era that's gone by. We do have many states that cast ballots only by mail. Plus, you have the expansion and explosion, really, of non-polling place election systems like early voting, like vote by mail, like the new Colorado model where voters are mailed a ballot and then the option to return them back. In that environment, not only is it crucial to know how many people are going to show up on Election Day, but also to know when they're going to show up, where they're going to show up, and how they're going to cast their ballots. The folks on this panel, both practitioners and academics, will probably be able to tell you way better than I can what the predictors are, but we now know that there are different groups of people, whether it's demographic, generational, geographic, what have you, who experience and use the election process differently. There are people who are hardcore vote-by-mail folks. There are folks who still want to go to polling places. There are other folks who want to cast their ballots before Election Day but want to go to a physical location to do so. Knowing how many of those people there are, who they are, what their language needs are, if they have disabilities, what else might impact the process is, I think, a necessary skill for election administrators going forward. And that's why I'm excited and looking forward to hear what the other panelists have to say, because the one service that we can do our voters is to be ready for them when they come to us. A vote is a very precious thing. It's an act of civic engagement. It's a gift that we as citizens give to one another in making the decisions to help run our country and our communities. And so if voters are willing to give us that gift, the least we can do is be prepared for them when they do. To all of you out there, if you're interested, would love to hear from you in working with us at the Election Academy on the Certificate of Election Administration. But if nothing else, remember that being prepared for Election Day is something that's not only important, but changing at an incredible rate of speed. And I will, against all advice, yield the remainder of my time. Thank you.